from Columbia. This is WIS News 10 at 6. Live, local, now.
This evening, week 5 of the Alex Murdaugh murder trial comes to a close with a redirect and recross-examination of the defendant.
The prosecution today seeking to try and tighten that timeline of what Alex Murdaugh was doing on the night of the murders. Also looking to point out that the defendant has lied to many people. Our Greg Adeline joins us live outside of the Colleton County Courthouse with more. So, Greg, how did the defense try to respond and explain to the many lies that the prosecution pointed out?
Yeah, good evening to you, Judy and Dondi. Really, the defense made a very simple argument here through this cross-examination, saying that ultimately their client, well, he did lie. Alex Murdaugh admitting from the stand that he lied in multiple certain circumstances, including being at the kennels on the night of the murders, which was kind of the linchpin to the prosecution's case. Said he lied to clients, said he lied to his family, lied in all sorts of circumstances. But one thing that he stood firm on, saying that he never killed his wife and son on the night of June the 7th, 2021, saying in his words, quote, "I would never do anything to hurt Maggie or Paul." At one point saying, "I would never intentionally hurt Maggie or Paul." Some curious wording there. But earlier on, Creighton Waters, the state's lead prosecutor, pressed Murdaugh about his inconsistencies, and at times Murdaugh was combative. Waters, walking him through his multiple lies, asked him at one time if he was a family annihilator. Murdaugh denied it and seemed angry. Punctuating his cross-examination, Waters then gave Murdaugh a laundry list of people, names of people on a list that he lied to. You'll remember Murdaugh said that he lied about being at the kennels out of drug-induced paranoia over SLED and not out of self-preservation. But Daniel Green's video that Creighton Waters showed at the end of the cross-examination shows that Murdaugh lied to investigators about being at the kennels even before SLED got there. Waters said Alex Murdaugh would lie quickly, easily, effectively, and often, manufacturing a new kennel story just yesterday. Only when confronted with the truth did Creighton Waters say that Alex Murdaugh would ever come clean. He also walked Murdaugh through his opioid addiction, his pill usage. At one point, Alex Murdaugh testified that he took 70 pills, 30 milligrams of oxycodone per day. That is a lot of drugs. When you think of 70 pills per day, you wonder if the jurors were able to put that math together and wonder how Alex Murdaugh was even standing at that time. He also talked about the roadside crash, saying that Murdaugh lied effortlessly about what happened on September the 4th, 2021, saying that every time accountability came, you became the victim. Those were Creighton Waters' words. Murdaugh said that the roadside shooting was not designed for sympathy, that he wanted to be dead. Yet Curtis Eddie Smith only shot him one time, and Alec called 911. Waters also accused him of manufacturing an alibi. Murdaugh had no phone activity from just after 8 o'clock until 9:02 on the night of the murders. Then a flurry of phone activity on Murdaugh's phone from 9:02 to 9:06. Alec had no good answer for what he was doing during that time before he left Moselle and said what he wasn't doing. Take a listen.
I know what I wasn't doing, Mr. Waters, and what I wasn't doing is doing anything, as I believe you've implied, that I was cleaning off or washing off guns, or putting guns in a raincoat, and I can promise you that I wasn't doing any of that.
Now, it's interesting to note that Creighton Waters never asked if he was doing any of those things. So by laying that out, you wonder if that was any sort of a tell to the jury about perhaps what he was doing at that time. That could at least be argued. But Waters certainly hammered Murdaugh's credibility time and time again, listing off those lies, ticking off all of those clients, all of those people, basically all of the stories that Alex Murdaugh has told that turned out to be not true. And really today, during that cross-examination, Creighton Waters tightened that timeline surrounding the murders. 5 minutes before the murders, that timeline got awfully tight. And Nick Neville joins us now with details on that. Hey, Nick.
Yes, Greg. So Creighton Waters grilling Murdaugh on his lies, including most notably his assertion that he was never at the family dog kennels the night of the murders. We now know that was a lie. So as he was walking him through the timeline of June 7th, 2021, Waters kept saying he was emphasizing that these are Alex's new facts. Waters tightening that timeline. Murdaugh says he was only at the kennels for a few minutes. Today, he revealed that the family dogs were not barking or acting unusually when he was there. He says there was nobody else around for them to sense. At times, Murdaugh was unclear about the details of that night, including whether he had said goodbye to his wife before heading back to the main house, and what he did around 9:02 p.m. when his phone detects 283 steps. At times, he would often repeat the question back to Waters. The new timeline laid out from the stand from Murdaugh is that he left the kennels around 8:46 or 8:47. You'll remember both Maggie and Paul's phones go silent forever at 8:49. He says he went back to the main house on a golf cart, did not hear any gunshots. The assertion by Murdaugh that some unknown person was waiting for him to leave the kennels to strike. Waters laid out that possibility in questioning today.
So what you're telling this jury is that it's a random vigilante.
That's your
the 12-year-old 5'2" people that just happened to know that Paul and Maggie were both at Moselle on June 7th, that knew that they would be at the kennels alone on June the 7th, that knew that you would not be there, but only between the times of 8:49 and 9:02, that they show up without a weapon, assuming that they're going to find weapons and ammunition there, that they commit this crime during that short time window, and then they travel the same exact route that you do around the same time to Alameda. That's what you're trying to tell this jury?
You got a lot of factors in there, Mr. Waters, all of which I do not agree with, but some of which I do.
The defense plans to call 4 more witnesses on Monday. After that, the prosecution will have the chance to call in rebuttal witnesses, and then, of course, we will have closing arguments. Reporting in Walterboro, Nick Neville, WIS News 10.
All right, thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate that. Now, Creighton Waters also ran through that list of people that Murdaugh had lied to, trying to paint the picture of a dishonest man capable of lying to anyone, including the jury, when faced with accountability.